Temisco Electric here. Electric bikes come in many different shapes and sizes, and mountain bikes were one of the first categories to go electric. Now, I've been waiting for an electric mountain bike that blurs the lines, where it can do a great job on the trail, but also do a nice job on the road, like when you're commuting or you're riding around with family. This is the Velotrix Summit 1, and it promises to do all of that. Now, it's listed just under $2,000, which means you could get 5 of these for the price of a really nice high-end electric mountain bike. Let's take a closer look at all the ways this bike is unique before we take it out on the trail and see how it rides. The Velotrix Summit 1 is shipped as a Class 2 e-bike, which means the motor can work up to 20 miles per hour using the pedal assistance, and it's trigger thumb throttle. The Summit 1 can also be unlocked to higher speeds and become a Class 3 e-bike, which will open up the top speed to 28 miles per hour. The Summit 1 has a proprietary 750-watt rear hub motor that delivers up to 1,300 watts peak and 90 Newton meters of torque. This e-bike uses a torque sensor to deliver the power. The UL certified battery with Samsung or LG cells operates at 48 volts with a capacity of 14.7 amp hours. That's equivalent to 705.6 watt hours. The battery is easily removable and can be charged on or off the bike. The bike comes with a 3 amp charger that should deliver a full charge in about 5 hours. The battery is also IPX7 water resistant. Velotrix says this combination can deliver a maximum range of 70 miles on pedal assist and 60 miles using the throttle only. The Summit 1 comes in an aluminum frame with 3 color options, including Sunrise Orange, Royal Blue, and Space Black like you see here. It comes in 2 frame sizes. Velotrix says the regular frame can accommodate riders between 5'1" and 5'10", and the large frame can fit riders between 5'8" and 6'6". The bike is IPX6 rated for water resistance. The bike weighs 62 pounds and can support a total maximum payload capacity of 440 pounds. These are Shimano hydraulic brakes with 180mm rotors. The 8-speed shifter and Altus derailleur are also made by Shimano. The front fork hydraulic suspension has 120mm of travel, and the Kenda mountain bike puncture-resistant tires are 27.5 inches in diameter and 2.6 inches wide. The full-color display has a USB-A port to keep your phone charged using the bike's power while you ride, and it's compatible with the Velotrix app via Bluetooth. Their app lets you record rides including with photos, share your rides with third-party apps like Strava, adjust your ride modes and top speed, engage auto lights, and it gives you the ability to turn the throttle limiter off so you can accelerate to top speeds in any pedal assist mode. It also gives you access to turn on Apple Find My, which acts as a location tracker if your e-bike is stolen or lost. The integrated 130 lux LED headlamp and taillights are standard. The Summit 1 also comes with a kickstand and a bell. It's also pre-wired for a dropper seat post. Summit 1 owners get Velotrix 2-year warranty and access to their growing dealer network consisting of over 1,000 locations. These retailers make test drives possible, and they improve the service experience. Well, those specs look pretty awesome, so let's see how it rides. So just to give you a little bit of background on my experience with mountain biking, I would consider myself a beginner. I have taken courses to learn how to mountain bike, and I have done some trail riding with my partner, and I've also done regular mountain biking out in like Sedona with some friends. So although I have done a decent amount, I would still consider myself a beginner. So just to give you that perspective, but that's also why I wanted to review this bike, is because I feel like based on the specifications, it's gonna be a decent option for people like me who want to be beginner slash intermediate, but also, you know, be able to use it as a bike that can do other things as well. So basically, I'm gonna start off in trail mode. Now, the Summit 1 has 3 different riding modes that you can select: Eco, Trail, and Boost. So the different applications for the different
riding experience you want. And then each one of those has 5 different pedal assist modes. So you can really customize how you want the bike to perform. And I'm just on the first pedal assist mode. I've found with most of the electric mountain biking that I've done, the first pedal assist mode is exactly what I'm looking for, so I can still get my workout in, and have the challenge, but also not hurt myself. And this trail is quite slippery. It's still just a smidge muddy out here. My tires are quite a bit caked. All right, I'm gonna bump into the higher pedal assist modes because there's a little bit of an incline here, and I feel like just need a little extra power to get up. I'm in the lowest gear, and as of right now, I'm in that 3rd pedal assist. Throttle is quite helpful to be able to push out of certain situations on the fly, but I will say that I'm pretty happy about the 3rd pedal assist mode and getting me in these inclines and more rooted scenarios. Now, I've noticed that when I'm going downhill, the saddle is a nice blend. I can still shift my weight behind the seat when I'm coming downhill, but it's also still wide enough and comfortable enough for like the daily commuter use. And these brakes are definitely coming in handy. Nice and powerful hydraulics. The torque sensor is nice and smooth as well, which is very ideal because you want precision with the power delivery so that you don't get too much. The suspension is doing a pretty good job too of rounding out these bumps with these rocks. It's 120 millimeters, so it's pretty good for this more entry-level style mountain bike. And the grips are pretty comfortable as well with this rubberized texture. It is a hot day, probably like mid-80s, and my hands are not slipping at all. All right, let's try it out in the 5th pedal assist. Oh yeah, I can go over pretty much anything on this mode. One thing that's a great advantage to this bike as well is that it has integrated lights. So as you can see, I'm lighting up the trail in front of me. It's a little dark in here, but it also helps visibility for other riders because there's a integrated light on the rear, or brake light. So it's nice and visible. All right, now that I have taken the Summit One on trail, let's see how it performs on the road. And this will give me the opportunity as well to turn it into the different modes. So let's move to, press this bottom button here. I'm gonna start off in Eco. We'll go all the way down to no pedal assist. I'm on the lowest gear, flat surface, so it shouldn't be too difficult to pedal around on this. There's no doubt that it's heavier than a regular bike, but if I was to run out of battery, this is absolutely doable to get where I need to go on more of a flat surface. But let's move into the first Eco mode. Whoop, a little boost of power there. But it has smoothed out really nicely. It's actually barely noticeable in my opinion with the Eco mode. It's just a really smooth, mild amount of power. But this is a Class 3 bike. A lot of my mud is flinging off right now. That's good. Easy way to get it clean. Now, I also have fenders for this, and I have a rear rack. So that's the nice thing about it, is if you do want to take it to a grocery store or something like that, and you don't want this mud flinging up like it is for me, you can add the fenders, but I'm definitely going to be doing that because this is going to be more of that hybrid style bike for me. Let's see, as far as this 8th gear, I can get it up in the 5th eco mode up just a little bit past 20, so it looks like it is still capped at that. Let me actually turn around here and I'll be able to unlock it. Let me just pull over. So you want to hold down the M button and it'll take you into the menu screen. You can set the different riding modes here, but I want to get into the speed limit. Bump it up to 28 miles per hour. Now I'm going to actually move it to boost mode. This is where you get maximum power, especially because I'm going up this hill. First pedal assist, let's push down on that pedal. Oh yeah, that's good power. That's nice. Let's move it up. Oh yeah, if you don't want to really put in a lot of effort, that 5th pedal assist does the job for you, and that was a pretty steep incline. I'm gonna make my way over this direction, do a little turnaround and go up this steep hill as well. All right, I'm gonna see how this throttle responds in that 5th boost mode up this hill. So let's see how it goes. 3, 2, 1. Very smooth transition. Now, as I mentioned, this is class 3. It goes up to 28 miles per hour. Let's see if I can get the throttle to, yep, especially when you're on a flat surface. Wow, okay. It was still giving me power at like 32 miles per hour. Now I'm on a flat surface and I'm going 30 miles an hour easy. That's, wow, that is very, very impressive. Now, obviously you can change the speed limit back down if you only are comfortable going up to 20 miles per hour, and that's the thing I really like about this. And what Velotric is doing with their next generation of bikes is that it's customizable. And the thing that I like about these higher speed bikes is if you are using them as a commuter and you're riding amongst traffic, it is really nice to be able to keep up. I have a strong headwind right now, you can probably hear that, but even as I'm going a little incline and I got a strong headwind, I'm still hitting 29 miles per hour. So, wow. I'm just very impressed with the capability of a bike like this to not only be able to do the trails decently, but also, whew, this is a good commuter as well. I mean, keep in mind, if you're gonna be commuting more than you are mountain bike riding, you probably wanna get something more like the Discover 2 where it's like a cruiser and your pressure isn't so downward and aerodynamic like you would want on a mountain bike, because you do start to feel the pressure on your hands when you're riding like this for a long time. But wow, I'm pretty happy about this. All right, well, let's head back and I'll share my final thoughts on the Velotric Summit 1.
Hey, we have the same bike.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That kid just screamed, oh my God, we have the same bike. All right, let's get right into the things that I'd like to see improved with the Velotric Summit 1, and then we'll talk about the things that I really enjoyed about this bike. And we'll start off with those improvements, but they're very short, to be honest, because I think this is a pretty good bike overall. Now, the first thing that could be improved is that this has a rear hub motor, and you can definitely feel the weight back there, but if you want to seriously electric mountain bike, then you're probably gonna want a mid-drive motor for a couple of reasons. One is that the weight is central, it's mounted right by the pedals, so it's low and right in the middle. And also the other thing is that it's gonna provide you better precision and torque because all the power comes before the transmission. The next thing is that this does not have a dropper seat post as you purchase it, but if you are gonna be doing any mountain biking, I do think it's worth getting. I would get it automatically, and I'm glad that they have wired for it, but I think it should just be a given. Well, that's the entire list of things that I'd like to see improved, but now let's talk about the things that I think Velotric nailed with this bike. First off has to be something that I already talked about, which is the rear hub motor. And that's because this provides more accessibility to the beginner and the intermediate riders because it is much easier to use than a mid-drive motor. Now, of course, the experienced rider, like I had mentioned, is probably gonna want that mid-drive, but more people can get on this bike without the learning curve and just go out and have fun. Plus, this is plenty powerful with 1300 watts peak. It handled everything that I threw at it, and I was extremely impressed. I really loved the ride modes too because they were perfectly calibrated for the exact experience that I was looking for, whether it was on road or on trail. The next thing that I like is that this comes with very complete hardware on how you want to make the bike, whether it's on-road or off-road capability. It comes with a kickstand, so the rider can decide if they don't want one, then they don't have to install it. It also comes with a bell. It comes with integrated lights on both the front and the rear light, and it also comes with the option for accessories like a rear rack and fenders. Now, I know a lot of people that are mountain biking don't want to install those for when they're going on the trail because it adds weight and the potential of it getting marred up and everything like that when you crash. But to have the option, it's usually not one. So to be able to have that option is really cool. Next up is the ride comfort. And when you're mountain biking, usually you have a seat on a nice mountain bike that's really thin and it's hard as a rock. And that allows you to basically swing over that back wheel when you're coming downhill to get that weight over the back so you're not gonna fall over the handlebars in front. And this strikes a really good balance because if you are gonna be taking this on the trail, you do want that thinner profile, but it also has a good amount of cushion and it's a little bit more of a wider saddle so that when you use it as a commuter, it's comfortable in that regard as well. Plus also the grips are a really nice textured material, and I found that those were really comfortable too, especially on a hot day like today. Now, if you watch my e-bike reviews, usually I tell you that I like the paddle shape on the end of the handlebar grips because it provides more comfort on the pad of your hand. But in this case with a mountain bike, you don't really want that because you're gonna be going around and needing to spin your hands around this to get that grip maximized. And to that regard, it actually was really comfortable with this suspension of 120 millimeters. It felt like it smoothed out everything and I didn't have nearly as much impact on my hands when going over those big bumps. One of the last big points that I truly enjoy about this bike is the integration of the technology. So not only does it have this beautiful color display that's easy to read even in a really bright sunny day, but it's easy to move through the different menu settings and to adjust the things exactly how you want them. Not only can you do it on the color display, but you can also do that through your phone with an app. And the app is really nice because you can set those parameters ahead of time with the ride modes and the pedal assist if you want. And you can also just mount it right here on the handlebars and plug it into the bottom of the computer to keep your phone charged while you ride. And there's also integrated navigation on the app so that you can select points of interest and have all that information right on your handlebars. So not only do I love that, but I personally do not have an Apple device, but I also love the idea that this has Apple Find My, so you can have location tracking of this bike and not worry about it getting stolen or being able to find it when it gets lost. Now the design on this bike I think is just fine. The cable management is okay. I don't really like seeing this plastic cover where the battery is being covered. I get that it's easy to clean and to take off and replace, but the design is just all right. I will say though that the color of this bike is very different than what I expected from what I saw online because the paint finish is so beautiful. It is very sparkly, especially in the sunlight, and I was really impressed as to how that took the level of the aesthetic up a notch for me. Another thing that I talk about a lot in my e-bike reviews is the availability of a service network, and Velotric has over 1,000 dealers at this point and partners for service. So if you get into a situation where you need to have it serviced, there's a likelihood that you're gonna have a shop nearby to take it to. The other thing is that, of course, you can buy through my discount link below and get that discount code, but you can also buy this bike, as we heard from Harrison, straight from the store, and they can do the assembly for you. Now, I'll say the assembly of this wasn't bad at all. It was pretty easy to set up, but at least you have that option to take it into one of their dealerships to get it assembled and serviced. Plus, it has a 2-year warranty, so if you're riding it really hard, you're likely to be covered. The last thing has to be the value. And what I mean by that is that, of course, this is under $2,000, but the things that you get out of it, especially when it comes to safety, the components, they're not extremely high level, but they're also not super cheap. They're probably about a mid-range, so they're good enough quality for what you're gonna use it for. But also consider that this has UL certification for the battery and for the bike itself. And not only that, it's IP rated at IPX6 for the bike and then IPX7 for the battery. So even if you wanted to ride through a river, or if you were putting this on the back of your car and taking it through a rainstorm or anything like that, you can know that this is going to be safe to take in those types of conditions. Well, thank you so much for watching this latest video. And if you're interested in learning more about the Velotrix Summit One, see the discount link in the description below. And again, I also have a discount code. But until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric. All right, you guys probably saw that a Velotrix Summit ripped past me. Well, that was Harrison. Harrison just got his bike a couple of weeks ago. But what do you think about owning this Summit One?
It's awesome. The battery life is really good on it. It's really fun. My friends are all gonna get one because I got it.
How many miles do you have on it?
330 now.
He's almost got 350 miles on it, and you've owned it for
A week. No, a week and a half now.
a week and a half? Oh my gosh, that is amazing. But
Yeah.
you're really enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I love it.
Have you taken it on any trails yet?
Yeah, I've been taking it on the ones over there. And then there's also a new trail that opened up over there.
Why did you pick the Summit One?
So me and my dad, I've been wanting to get an e-bike for a while. And you know what a Super 73 is?
I do, yes.
I was looking at those and I thought they were too bulky. And then we went to the Franklin Bicycle Company and they had this and they let me test ride it. But it's definitely the coolest one they had. I liked it a lot more than the Aventage.
Oh yeah. The Aventons are pretty good too, but you picked this over that. That's pretty impressive.
And I really like the color I got. We have a mall down there. It's like 9 miles away and I bike there a lot. So I like having the freedom of going a lot of places with this bike.
Yeah, that's true. You can go a little bit of everywhere. Well, thanks for talking to us, Harrison. It's pretty
problem.
cool
It was
to
nice
see
meeting
another one of these summits. Give me a high five. That's pretty awesome.
What's y'all's YouTube?
Miss Go Electric.
Go follow Miss Go Electric.
Listen to the kid. Thanks, Harrison. You too.